Hello and welcome back to the X-Ring. On today's episode, I'm going to give my final evaluation of the Springfield Prodigy 4 1/4 on whether or not you should actually buy this pistol. So before we get started, we have 700 rounds in this pistol. You guys might have seen my evaluation from last week, and we did start having stoppages around that 270 round mark. Now keep in mind, it was a brand new pistol that was not lubricated, it was not cleaned, but since then it's been cleaned. I've shot another 400 plus rounds out of it with the same type of malfunction. So what we're doing is we are getting all of the break-in period out, and today we're gonna see if we can get to that 1,000 round mark, and I'll be able to give you my evaluation on this. I would not give you an evaluation on a pistol on whether you should or shouldn't buy it unless you have at least 1,000 rounds through it. In full disclosure, because I saw a lot of comments down in the comment section, this pistol was not given to me by Springfield. I have not spoken to anyone at Springfield. This is actually a coworker who had just bought it and then gave it to me for a review. So for those of you that like to put your comments on there wondering how much I'm getting paid and all that, this is actually costing me money because of the ammunition I have to shoot to review this. Big shout out to Big Ivy Guns. They are a huge sponsor of the channel for providing the ammunition to be able to give you this evaluation. So this is completely cleaned. It is lubricated. We're only going to use the Springfield 17 and 20 round mag, and I'm going to shoot it until I get a malfunction or 300 rounds until I get to that 1,000 round mark, and then I'll give you my evaluation on whether this is worth the bang for the buck. All right, so we are using the PMC Bronze 115 grain round nose. The way this test is going to be evaluated, guys, is this is completely cleaned. It is completely lubricated. We are at exactly 700 rounds. If I cannot make it to the 300 round mark without a single malfunction, then I'm going to give this pistol a thumbs down because it's not a range toy. This is something that I think a lot of people are going to purchase to carry and be able to save some money over something like a Staccato 2011. And that break-in procedure is done. So this should perform. If it does not, then I'm not going to recommend it. That's where we're at with it. So we are using the Duramags, which has been cleaned. We're going to go ahead and start with 17 rounds. Here we go on steel. All right, let's go ahead and reload and we'll keep going. My target just fell over again. I got to finish this out. All right, we have lock back every time. Let's go ahead and reload. Let me reset the target and we'll go from there. All right, so far so good. We've already been through 100 rounds. I'm going into the 150th box here, 150th round box. So let's go ahead and continue. So here we go. So far, so good. My thumb's already getting sore because I've been doing a lot of shooting this week. And I don't want anybody to say you need to use an Upalula because I can never find the thing when I'm looking for it. So I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. Another good thing to do is practice putting your ammo in without looking at it. Make sure you don't put it in backwards. It's just one of those skills that'd be good for you. You shouldn't actually look at your holders either, or your holster when you reholster. Those are some good little tidbits. If you're going to be carrying out on a range or concealed, you should be able to know where those spots are. If you lose your vision in one eye. So here we go again. All right, good so far. We are at 145 rounds without any issues. Let's go ahead and reload. Guys, so far I'm about 5 minutes into the total production of this video. Just trying to get this done as fast as possible. So far, It is shooting well, it is functioning well. We're through that break-in period. And I seriously do recommend, regardless of what type of pistol you're shooting, whether it's a Glock or anything, that you always get about 1,000 rounds on it before you start carrying it for concealed carry, because you need to know that it's going to work when it needs to work. Now, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, and that's okay. I personally am not the type of person that is going to carry a double stack 9mm like a 2011 style pistol for concealed carry. Now, that's just me personally. Now, the Staccato C2, I have one of those that was not provided by Staccato. I will be reviewing that at a later date. We want to see how that one does. That one has 500 rounds so far, straight from the factory, without any malfunctions. I might end up doing that here this week. Boy, my thumb's getting tired. All right, so here we go, back onto the steel. So far, so good. I will tell you the pistol is getting very, very hot on the left side, because that is about 170 rounds already without really a break or a stop. And by the way, this is a sample of one. This was bought and ordered from a gun store. It was not sent to a YouTuber and it was a better QC or anything like that. This was actually sent to Wayne. Wayne had purchased it. Wayne is someone that I work with. It's actually been on the channel once a long time ago, but this is a sample of what you would literally get. So once I finish this box out, I'm going to be over the 200 round mark, and I have no idea how this is going to go, guys. Like I said, you're seeing this as I'm seeing it, but this is a store sample pistol without any type of gunsmithing, polishing, or anything like that. All right, here we go. I'll go a little slower here because I want to see where the sights are, because I did take the RMR off for this video, and we'll just go at the plate rack, which you guys can't see. They're still on, so let's go ahead and finish on the steel. Do a little bit of moving this time again. Good so far. So I've gotten a lot of hate comments about reviewing stuff from Springfield Armory because of a bill about 5 years ago. My job as a content creator is to bring you evaluations of products that are on the market. I don't have time to research what every CEO from a past organization has done in the past or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm not pro Second Amendment. I am 100% pro Second Amendment, but I cannot research all of these companies or take the time to do it. It is literally something that you go to the store, you purchase. You might not know the history of the company. We're into the last box, by the way. You might not know the history of the company. I personally don't own any Springfields other than old rifles, like 03s and M1As, things like that. But we are getting into the last box here. So here we go. All right, so you did see the one on the reload. That could have been me by hitting the slide release. This is why we don't hit a slide lock for the release. You want to be able to generate all the energy that you can to be able to get it back forwards. So that's on me. Now, if you're in a competition setting for speed, it is usually faster to use the slide lock, not release, because you get a full stroke instead of that portion of the stroke. So I'm going to let that one actually slip by, because that's something that we actually teach, is that you should always come over the top, because you're going to get the maximum force going forwards. I have not changed the recoil spring or anything, and boy, this thing is hot. Let's go ahead and load up these last magazines. My earlier statement about getting about 1,000 rounds out of a concealed carry pistol before you carry it, there is an actual instance where I had a friend that purchased a Glock brand new from a gun store. Now, he carried that pistol for about 6 months, and I asked him, and I said, Tom, have you ever fired that pistol? He said, no, it's a Glock. I said, dude, I don't care who it is. You need to also always get about 1,000 rounds out of a concealed carry pistol, so you know how it is going to be and how it's going to react. And we all know, whether you're civilian or whether you're law enforcement or military, Typically weapons maintenance kind of goes out the window on a concealed carry type weapon. I don't mean a duty style weapon. And you'll get lint and debris and everything else in there. Well, I was actually with him at the range when he fired this pistol, and it was a one-shot wonder. Apparently, someone had disassembled this pistol before he bought it and had stolen some parts out of it and tried to make some things work, but either way it had to go back to Glock. Glock said that they had incorrect parts in there, and I'm sure that did not happen at Glock. This is why it's so important that you test whatever you're going to carry, because when you need it, it needs to work. So we only have a couple mags worth left, so let's go ahead and see if we can make it to that 1,000 round mark. Over the top. I'm just trying to shoot fast to get it done. All right, so that is 300 rounds on the table if it'll make it through this last section. I'm going to use the 17 round mag, and then I'll use some of the 20 round mag just to kind of distribute it, and we can have a mag change in here. So let's see if it'll do it. You think it'll make the 1,000? Here we go. We'll start off with the 17. Just gonna shoot it into the dirt. See what I did? I hit the release on that side instead of coming over the top. You saw it was kind of retarded. So if the action is kind of retarded when you do that, then you probably want to use the other method. So it made 1,000 rounds, but it's not without any type of issues. It wasn't reliable until we got to about that 700 round mark. I have not touched the front sight. If you guys can see that and focus in on it, the front sight has drifted off to the right. So this is, matter of fact, I just took it out. So that is a big no-no, because even though you have the plate, if we lose that front sight, you know, if you've got a dot, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because you would still have it, but you've lost your backup system. This is one of those things, I don't know how you're gonna fix this so easily, or maybe it's because of the heat, but yeah, that slides out pretty much both directions to be able to remove it from the dovetail. And I knew something was off with the sight system. That's why I checked, because it was actually hitting really, really hard left when I was doing the video, but yeah, that's a no-no. So my evaluation of this pistol, for the $1,500 price point, as long as you have given it time to break it in, because this is not like a Glock, then I think you'll be happy with it as long as you give it proper break-in, proper cleaning procedures like you do on almost all double-stack 9mm. Like I said, I have no interest with Springfield Armory. I've never talked to any of them, but I think for the value, it is a good pistol if you have the time to break it in and maintain it properly, okay? You guys just saw that. That was 1,000 complete rounds over the course of a week, and you saw 300 rounds without a single malfunction other than me starting that malfunction. The front sight does bother me because this will have to go to them, because this is gonna have to be fit to this front sight. And that is a little bit of a problem, but otherwise I think you're okay with spending the $1,500 on a pistol if you're in such a point that you can't afford the $900 to go to a Staccato. In my opinion, the Staccato is a much more refined pistol. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck, but a lot of people can't spend that $900 in order to be able to buy that Staccato, and this I think is the closest thing out there. Don't even get me started on Rock Islands. I'm not a huge fan of those. I've shot those quite a bit, and I think this is a step above those. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Springfield Armory 1,000 round test, the Prodigy. Hope to see you around. Talk to you soon. Have a great week.